In the dry cliffs of West Africa, a people with no telescopes drew a star that human eyes cannot see. They called it Po Tolo, the smallest, heaviest thing in the sky. Modern astronomers would later confirm that star exists. It is called Sirius B, a white dwarf so faint it took photographic plates and the world's most powerful lenses to prove it was real. So how did the Dogon know? Tonight we step into one of the strangest mysteries in the history of human knowledge, a riddle carved in oral tradition, hidden in sand drawings, and whispered by elders for generations before science caught up. This is the story of the Dogon and their impossible star. In 1931, two French anthropologists, Marcel Graillol and Germain Dieterlen, journeyed into the heart of Mali. They sought the Dogon, a people who had lived for centuries along the Bandiagara Escarpment, a towering wall of sandstone rising from the Sahel like the spine of some sleeping giant. The Dogon were farmers, blacksmiths, and mask makers, but they were also keepers of an intricate cosmology, passed down not in books, but in ritual, dance, and sacred geometry drawn in dust. Graillol spent over 2 decades returning to the Dogon, slowly earning the trust of their priests, called the Hagan. What he claims to have learned would ignite one of the most debated mysteries in modern anthropology. According to his notes, the Dogon elders described a star invisible to the naked eye, a companion to Sirius, the brightest star in our sky. They called it Po Tolo. They said it was small, unbelievably heavy, and moved in an elliptical orbit around Sirius every 50 years. This was not a minor detail buried in myth. It was specific, numerical, and eerily accurate. And that is where the mystery begins. To understand why this claim shook the academic world, you must understand who the Dogon were. They were not wandering nomads with vague legends. They were a structured agricultural society with a priesthood dedicated to preserving celestial knowledge across generations. Their cosmology was recorded in sacred objects, granary paintings, and elaborate ceremonies held once every 60 years, called the Sigwi. The Sigwi ceremony itself was staggering in its own right. A ritual so ancient that some researchers believe its cycle had been observed for over 600 years. Generation after generation preparing the next to inherit knowledge many of them would not live to fully use. This was a culture built around the discipline of memory, using symbol and performance as a living archive when writing was not part of their tradition. Graillol described drawings that mapped not only Sirius and its hidden companion, but also depicted orbits, elliptical paths, and even a third star, which some Dogon informants called Enya, still undetected by modern instruments. The elders explained that Po Tolo was made of a material heavier than all the iron on Earth combined, and that nothing could lift it. If this knowledge was truly ancient, uninfluenced by outside contact, then the Dogon had described the physical properties of a white dwarf star centuries before Western astronomy understood what a white dwarf even was. Let us be precise about the claims, because precision is exactly what made them so startling. The Dogon reportedly stated 3 things. First, that Sirius has a companion star, invisible to the eye. Second, that this companion is incredibly dense, composed of a substance they called sagala, unlike anything found on Earth. Third, that this hidden star orbits Sirius on a 50-year elliptical cycle. Every one of these details corresponds almost exactly to modern astrophysics. Sirius B does exist. It is a white dwarf, meaning it is the collapsed, superdense remnant of a star that shed its outer layers, leaving behind a core so tightly packed that a single teaspoon of its material would weigh tons on Earth. Its true orbital period around Sirius is approximately 50 years. Its existence was completely undetectable without powerful telescopic instruments and precise measurements of stellar wobble. Western science did not confirm Sirius B until the mid-1800s, when astronomer Friedrich Bessel calculated that Sirius wobbled slightly, suggesting an unseen gravitational partner. It was not until 1862 that Alvin Graham Clark, testing a new telescope lens, actually glimpsed the faint companion for the first time. Yet Graillol's accounts suggest the Dogon had encoded this knowledge in ceremonies stretching back centuries earlier. The scale of this claim is difficult to overstate. If accurate and untainted by outside influence, it would mean an isolated society, without telescopes, possessed the same information it took Europe's most advanced instruments centuries to confirm. To grasp why this seems so impossible, we must look at what Sirius B actually is. Located roughly 8.6 light-years from Earth, Sirius B is around the size of our planet, yet its mass rivals that of our Sun. It is what remains after a star exhausts its nuclear fuel and collapses under its own gravity, crushing matter into a state so dense that ordinary atomic structure breaks down. It emits so little visible light that even today, powerful telescopes must filter out the overwhelming brightness of Sirius just to observe it. In the 1920s, decades after Grail's fieldwork claims, scientists finally confirmed the physical nature of white dwarfs using new atomic theory to explain their impossible density. For the Dogon to have described a hidden companion star made of unimaginably dense material, orbiting on a precise 50-year cycle, is either an extraordinary coincidence, a product of later cultural contact, or evidence of an older tradition of sky watching we do not yet fully understand. Some researchers argue that Grail's translators may have introduced modern astronomical concepts unintentionally, or that missionaries and colonial visitors shared star charts decades before his visit. Others insist the specificity is too exact, too early, and too deeply woven into ritual to be a simple case of borrowed knowledge. It was this gap between mystery and explanation that inspired one of the 20th century's most controversial books. In 1976, writer Robert Temple published The Sirius Mystery, proposing that the Dogon received their knowledge from extraterrestrial visitors, beings he associated with ancient Sumerian and Egyptian myths of amphibious gods arriving from the stars. The theory captivated audiences worldwide, but scholars were quick to push back. Anthropologists pointed out possible flaws in Grail's fieldwork methods, questioning whether his own translators shaped answers to fit expectations, a well-known risk in ethnographic research. Some later interviews with Dogon community members revealed uncertainty or unfamiliarity with the specific details Grail recorded, fueling suspicion that outside knowledge, perhaps from earlier European travelers or missionaries, had quietly entered their oral tradition before his arrival. Yet the debate has never fully closed. Defenders of the original account argue that Grail's decades-long relationship with Dogon elders and the depth of ritual context surrounding the knowledge makes simple cultural borrowing an insufficient explanation. Whether it was accurate ancient astronomy, unconscious cultural blending, misunderstood translation, or something we have not yet explained, the Dogon star mystery endures as one of history's great unanswered questions. Perhaps the truth lies not in ancient aliens or grand deception, but in the sheer power of human observation, patience, and memory, capable of preserving fragments of knowledge across centuries in ways we are only beginning to understand. The stars above the Bandiagara cliffs still burn the way they did when the first Sigwi ceremonies began, indifferent to our explanations, holding their secrets at a distance measured in light years. Whether the Dogon's knowledge came from forgotten contact, brilliant intuition, or a story reshaped in translation, it forces us to ask how much human wisdom has been lost, borrowed, or hidden in the folds of oral history. If this story made you question what you thought you knew, subscribe for more insane history, and tell us in the comments what impossible mystery you think we should uncover next.